The night holds a promise of peace. A profound quiet that isn't just about the absence of noise, but a deep settling in your bones, your thoughts, your very breath. This is where true restoration happens. Yet, for so many elders I've sat with, that promise is broken every night. They find their eyes open at 2 a.m., then 3 a.m., not from a sharp pain or an urgent need, but because a quiet, insistent nudge from within has pulled them from their rest. This isn't just an annoyance. It's a thief that steals the life from the morning. Your arms and legs feel like lead. Your vision seems to stay blurred. The simple pleasure of a hot cup of coffee no longer cuts through the fog. You might tell yourself this is an unavoidable part of getting older, a tax on a long life. But let me propose a different truth. What if your body isn't failing you? What if it's trying to have a new kind of conversation with you? A quiet one that asks for rhythm and respect, not resignation. One of the most profound, yet simple, levers we can pull to influence our sleep is water. Not how much we drink, but precisely when. I have known countless elders who hydrate with diligence, operating under the belief that more water is always the answer. And they are not wrong. Water is fundamental. It is the river of life in every cell. But the crucial piece of wisdom they often miss is that the time of day you drink is as vital as the volume. This becomes especially clear after age 55. A person goes to bed, expecting the body to drift into deep sleep. But an hour or two later, an internal signal, quiet but firm, commands them to get up. That walk to the bathroom becomes a nightly patrol. It might be once, but often it's twice or even more. At first, it feels like a minor quirk of aging. But what I have learned, from both the deep well of ancient wisdom and the clarity of modern science, is that this is not just your age. It is a specific, correctable imbalance in the timing of fluids and your body's natural clock. Let me explain this simply. As we age, our bodies naturally produce less of a hormone called vasopressin. Think of vasopressin as the nighttime gatekeeper for your kidneys. In your younger years, it works silently in the background, telling your kidneys to slow down their filtration process while you sleep, ensuring your rest is protected. But after 60, the production of this hormone wanes. Your kidneys, no longer getting the signal to slow down, keep working at their daytime pace while the rest of you is trying to be still. The consequence is simple: urine is produced more rapidly. Your bladder fills up faster. Its nerves send the "wake up" signal much sooner, long before your body has had its fill of rest. This isn't a disease. It's your body's biology adapting across a lifetime. Your kidneys, like every organ, have their own rhythm that changes with time. Your fluid balance becomes a more delicate dance, and your bladder, which once could patiently hold nearly 2 cups of fluid, now might feel agitated with less than 1. But this knowledge, when you truly hear it, is where your power begins. Let me share a story. With the name changed for privacy, I met a retired watchmaker named Arthur, a man of 72 with a kind face and a deep appreciation for precision. But his own internal clock was off. He woke twice a night, every night. His doctors found nothing wrong. No prostate issues, no infections. He told me, "I guess this is just my life now." He had tried everything from less water to sleeping aids, but nothing worked. It was only when we discussed not the EV amount of water, but its S timing, that he found relief. He started drinking his daily water between his morning alarm and mid-afternoon. After 600 p.m., he took only a few sips if truly thirsty. In less than 2 weeks, he slept a full 7 hours for the first time in a decade. You see, the body isn't trying to frustrate you. It's asking you to listen with a new kind of attention. A very common mistake is consuming large amounts of fluid late in the evening. A glass of water with dinner, a warm mug of herbal tea afterward, maybe a light soup. At this hour, your body's systems are preparing to close down for the night. But when we send a rush of fluid through, we're essentially forcing the kidneys back onto the factory floor. They have to start up the assembly line again. The bladder starts to fill, and just as your brain is ready to enter the deep, healing stages of sleep, the body sounds the alarm to get up. This isn't a habit that appears overnight. It's a pattern that creeps in so quietly, you don't even notice it becoming your new normal. But any normal can be changed. Think of your daily hydration like the sun's journey across the sky, intentional, rhythmic, and timed. In the morning and up to midday, your digestive system is at its peak. Your metabolism is active. Your kidneys are working efficiently. This is the prime time to hydrate your body, not with huge gulps, but with consistent, mindful sips. Then, as the afternoon sun softens into evening, your body's energy naturally begins to wane. Your fluid intake should follow suit. Drinking heavily after 6 hours or 7:00 p.m. is like trying to have a loud, energetic conversation with someone who is trying to fall asleep. It's a disruption, not a support. I have seen this same principle work everywhere, from monasteries to modern apartments. The problem is universal, but so is the solution. Adjust the timing. Honor your body's internal clock. Hydrate by the light and allow for rest in the dark. It is a quiet form of self-discipline. And discipline doesn't have to be a punishment. It is simply an act of love. So if you find yourself awake every night, tired and confused, ask yourself not what is broken, but what is simply mistimed. Then gently make the shift. Because your body doesn't always need a new pill. Sometimes all it needs is a better rhythm. Let's walk this path with kindness, patience, and a deep trust in the wisdom your body already holds. There is a deep comfort in a warm drink before bed. For many, a cup of chamomile tea, a mug of warm milk, or even a simple bowl of broth is a cherished ritual. It's a signal to the mind that the day's work is done. But hidden within this comforting habit is a common trigger for a restless night. Turmeric lattes, clear vegetable soups, ginger infusions. While they feel gentle and are often healthy, they are still liquid, and when taken after the sun has set, they don't just vanish into the night. Silently, they trickle down, collecting in the bladder. They send a message to the kidneys. They tickle the nerves. And soon enough, you're awake at 2:30 a.m., your body heavy, your mind clouded, pulled from sleep by an urge to relieve a bladder that isn't even truly full. This was the exact pattern for a woman named Clara, 74, whom I met at a wellness retreat. She carried herself with grace, but her eyes held a deep-seated weariness. For 3 years, she woke at the same time nightly, not from discomfort, but from a phantom urge. She had chalked it up to getting older, a fate she couldn't change. As we spoke one evening, she was sipping a large mug of herbal tea at 9 p.m. I listened, then gently explained that while her tea was soothing, the timing of the fluid was likely the architect of her nightly problem. It wasn't the tea itself, it was the when. She made one single adjustment. She started to enjoy her tea around 6 p.m. and had nothing but a few small sips of warm water later. A week later, she approached me with a radiant smile. I never knew, she said, her voice full of wonder, that my evening comfort was costing me my morning peace. This is the message I want you to hear. These small awakenings are not signs of failure. They are messengers reminding you that your body, even as it ages, is in constant dialogue with you, asking for balance. Another habit, born from the best intentions, is going to the bathroom, just in case, right before getting into bed. It feels like a responsible thing to do, but when you repeatedly empty a bladder that isn't full, you are actually training its internal nerves to send faulty signals. Over time, the bladder starts to signal an urge for fullness when it's only a third of the way there. It's a form of bladder conditioning, a silent habit of teaching it to cry wolf. The result, you wake up in the middle of the night, not because your body truly needs to go, but because you have trained it to believe it must. And this belief, like a small, unnoticed leak, slowly drains the quality of your sleep. Then there is the issue of imbalanced hydration throughout the day. I've met so many elders who drink very little all morning and afternoon, then feel a sudden pang of guilt around dinner time and try to catch up. They'll down 2 or 3 large glasses of water between 6 p.m. and 8 p.m., thinking they are doing the right thing. But the body isn't a bucket you can just fill up at the last minute. It's a garden that needs slow, steady watering. Your kidneys are at their most powerful when the sun is high. This is when your heart is pumping strongly and your entire system is awake and ready to process. Drinking the majority of your water between sunrise and 4 p.m. allows your body to use it, filter it, and release it efficiently. Your bladder empties properly, your cells are hydrated, and your evening can become a time of true winding down, not a period of hidden digestive and kidney work. After 4 or 5 p.m., think of your body as a house where you are slowly dimming the lights, preparing for sleep. This is not the time for big glasses of water. It is a time for small, deliberate sips, only if you feel genuine thirst. Just as you wouldn't turn on a bright, overhead light right before bed. Don't flood your system with fluid when it is trying to soften into rest. And the temperature of your water matters, too. So many of us are used to drinking icy water from the fridge. But cold water, especially in the evening, can be a shock to the system. It can irritate the bladder lining and wake up its nerves. Warm or room temperature water is much kinder after sunset. It aligns with your body's own internal temperature. It soothes rather than startles. You see, hydration isn't just about volume. It's a relationship between the water and its arrival time, between your body and how it is treated, between a good night's rest and how you prepare for it. When I speak to elders who are frustrated with their sleep, I always tell them, no one ever taught us how to drink water after 60, but your body is trying to teach you now. It doesn't yell, it just nudges. And when you listen and respond with awareness, it remembers how to heal. One sip taken earlier, one less cup after dark, one decision to not go, just in case. These are tiny acts of alignment that can give you back the night as a sanctuary for quiet healing. Let your evenings be gentle. Let your water be kind. And let your sleep finally be still. There is a specific window in the evening, not on your watch but in your body, when the great slowdown begins. It is when the light outside softens, your breathing naturally deepens, and your whole system whispers, it is time to prepare for rest. This window, typically between 5 p.m. and 7 p.m., is when we must consciously begin to taper our fluid intake. Not because water is bad, it is life itself, but because even the best things must arrive at the right moment to be a blessing and not a burden. From 5 p.m. on, sip only when you are actually thirsty. And after 7:30 p.m., unless your doctor has told you otherwise, try to drink no more than a very small cup, about 150 ml. That's less than a typical glass. It feels like a minor change, but I assure you, it is a profound act of honoring your body's rhythm. A question I often hear is, but what about my evening medications? Many elders take essential pills at night for their heart, blood pressure, or joints. And of course, these need water. But even here, we can be gentle. Use only the minimum amount of water necessary to swallow the pill, just a few sips. If the medication makes you thirsty, resist the urge to drink a whole glass. Instead, try taking one small spoonful of water at a time. Allow your body to absorb it slowly, like gentle rain on dry earth, not a flood. Then there is that other well-intentioned habit, the just in case. Drink before bed. You think, I'll drink a little now to prevent waking up thirsty later. But this logic is backward. This ritual is often the very cause of the broken sleep you're trying to prevent by loading a bladder that needs to be quiet. Instead, try this ancient and simple practice. Before you lie down, sit on the edge of your bed for just 5 minutes. Place one hand on your heart and the other on your lower belly. Breathe in through your nose and out slowly through your mouth. Feel your body soften. Let the frantic energy of the day drain away. Your bladder learns from this calm, and if you like, you can gently massage your lower abdomen in a clockwise circle, a simple way of telling your internal systems, all is calm, all is safe, it is time for rest. I remember an elder named Emile, a disciplined man of 70, who joined a mountain retreat. He was deeply frustrated. Despite being careful, he was waking up 3 times a night to use the toilet. He had been drinking almost a liter of water between 7 p.m. and 9 p.m., believing he was detoxing his system. But detoxification is about timing, not just volume. I asked him to make one change: drink 70% of his water before 3 p.m. and limit his evening intake to a single small glass around 6:30. The change wasn't immediate, but in 2 weeks, he was waking only once. A month later, he was sleeping soundly from 10 p.m. until 5 a.m. His mornings felt lighter, his mind clearer. He smiled and said, "I feel like my body has remembered how to be at peace." Dear elder, the answer isn't to drink less water overall. It's to drink it earlier. Give your hardworking organs the daylight hours to do their job, and then let them rest peacefully alongside you. But water isn't the only uninvited guest at our evening table. The food we eat, especially food with high water content, plays a crucial role. For many, dinner is a time of comfort and connection. But the ingredients on our plate, and especially the time we eat them, can secretly disrupt our sleep. Think of light soups, broths, or stews. They seem harmless, easy to digest, but consumed too close to bedtime, they are like hidden rivers flowing into your bladder long after you've turned out the lights. You might not notice at first, but soon that gentle pressure begins, and then the waking. And what about evening beverages? Herbal teas, warm milk, even decaffeinated coffee. They are all fluids. Some, like green tea or certain herbal blends, are even mild diuretics, meaning they actively encourage your kidneys to produce more urine. They wake up the very systems that need to be sleeping. It's a true paradox. We drink something to calm down, only to be woken up by its after effects. Even the healthiest foods, like fruits and vegetables, need to be timed correctly. A crisp cucumber and tomato salad, a slice of watermelon, or a glass of orange juice. They are wonderfully nutritious, but when eaten after sunset, they can increase the sensitivity of your bladder. Their natural acidity and high water content can be very loud to an aging system that needs quiet. So ask yourself a gentle question: is this food fuel for my day or a burden for my night? Your body doesn't hold a grudge. It simply keeps a record. And when we show it respect in when we eat and drink, it responds not with a fight, but with profound rest. Let your evening meals be light. Let the hours after sunset be a time of gentle quiet. And let every sip and every bite be guided by this one simple question: will this help bring stillness to my body tonight? There are times when the body communicates not through pain, but through patterns. It doesn't scream, it just repeats the same action over and over until we finally stop and ask, what is my body trying to tell me? I met a man named Marcus, 68, at a retreat in the Austrian Alps. He was very proud of his healthy dinner, a large raw salad every evening with cucumbers, tomatoes, and a lemon dressing. By all modern standards, it was a perfect meal. Yet, like clockwork, he was up twice, sometimes 3 times a night, running to the bathroom. He hadn't changed how much water he drank. He felt no pain, but his sleep was shattered. After a simple conversation, he made one adjustment. He moved his big salad to lunch and had lightly steamed vegetables for dinner instead. The result was astonishing. Within 1 week, he was sleeping for 6 hours straight. No medication, no complex new routine. Just one quiet shift. This is so often the body's way. It doesn't need to be forced. It just needs to be understood. Another hidden cause of nighttime restlessness is salt. In the evening, savory foods like chips, pickles, or heavily spiced dishes can feel like a treat, but they trigger a powerful thirst. You inevitably drink more water after your meal, and then perhaps more again right before bed. This flood of extra fluid, combined with a more sensitive bladder and slower working kidneys, makes waking in the night almost a certainty. But again, this isn't about giving things up forever. I am not asking you to abandon the flavors you love. I am simply asking you to give them a different time of day to shine. That same favorite dish, eaten at noon, is pure energy and nourishment. Eaten at 9 p.m., it becomes a task for your sleeping body. Change the timing, and the very same food brings you peace instead of problems. When your body finally gets the rest it needs, your mind becomes clear. And when your mind is clear, sleep stops being a struggle and becomes a welcome friend once again. People often ask me, is there a cure for this? And my answer is always, perhaps not a cure, but there is a return to harmony. Your body isn't always asking for a pill. It is often just asking for a small, patient adjustment. Let's start with your morning. After the age of 60, our circulation naturally becomes a bit less efficient. Fluid, driven by gravity, tends to pool in the lower body, especially the feet and ankles. You might not even see any swelling. But at night, when you lie down flat, all that collected fluid begins its journey back into your main circulation. Your kidneys sense this influx of fluid and think, time to get back to work. And just as you're drifting off, your bladder starts to fill. But you can change this. A short, gentle walk in the morning sun, some simple leg stretches while you sit, can help circulate that fluid much earlier in the day. It doesn't have to be hard work. It just has to be done. By doing this, you give your kidneys less work to do after dark, and in return, they give you a more peaceful night. Then, consider your sleeping position. Many elders were taught to sleep flat on their backs, but a wealth of both modern medical and ancient wisdom points to a better way. Try sleeping on your left side. Put a supportive pillow under your head and another one between your knees. This simple posture takes pressure off your bladder. It also aids digestion and improves blood flow to the heart. It's a tiny change with a profound effect. Within just a few nights, many people report fewer of those false alarm, urges to get up, less waking, more stillness. Your clothes matter too. Our elders taught us that being warm at night is a sign of safety, so we pile on heavy blankets and wear thick pajamas. But especially in warmer climates, overheating can backfire. It makes you sweat, which makes you thirsty, which in turn wakes up your kidneys. Instead, choose light, breathable cotton. Let your bed have airflow. A thin sheet or a quiet fan aren't signs of weakness. They are signs of respect for your body's need for balance. Now, if you do wake up in the night, and you still will from time to time, just pause. Don't leap out of bed. Don't rush to the bathroom purely out of habit. Instead, just sit up for a moment. Ask your body, is this a real, full urge, or is it just a whisper? If the urge is not strong, stay put. Take 5 slow, deep breaths. Feel your belly relax. Feel your mind grow quiet. With practice, this simple pause retrains your bladder. Its nerves learn that not every little signal requires an emergency response. And that, perhaps, is the deepest lesson in all of this. The body doesn't always need a reaction. Sometimes, all it wants is your gentle, loving attention. So listen with kindness, adjust with patience, and you will discover that what you thought was a problem was really just a rhythm, waiting to be found again. There is a time, just before the sun rises, when a special kind of quiet descends. It's a silence that is not just outside you, but inside you. This is the hour of the body's deepest healing, the mind's fullest surrender, the soul's most profound rest. But for so many elders, this sacred quiet has been shattered, not by loud noises or by pain, but by something far more subtle, the repeated need to get up throughout the night, often for a bladder that is nowhere near full. I remember a lovely elder named Amara, 74, who joined a retreat with us. She was full of life and wisdom, but her nights had become a source of constant dread and fatigue. She would wake up twice every single night, not from a powerful urge, but from a deeply ingrained habit. Her body was confused, and her rest was in pieces. We worked together to make a few gentle adjustments. She started sleeping on her left side, wore light cotton pajamas, and practiced slow, mindful breathing for 5 minutes before bed. Within a few days, something shifted. One morning, she came to me with tears of gratitude in her eyes and said, "I feel like my body and I are friends again. This, dear elder, is my deepest wish for you. Restful sleep is not an indulgence, it is your fundamental right. Your body has not forgotten how to rest. It just needs the right conditions to remember. You do not need to wage a war against your age. You simply need to listen to your body's quieter signals and adjust with gentle care. When you do, the body always responds, not with a loud victory cry, but with a quiet thank you spoken in the language of deep, uninterrupted peace. But to find this peace, we must first gently sweep away some common misunderstandings that get in the way. These are not bad beliefs. They are ideas passed down with good intentions. But when we don't examine them, they can lead us away from true rest. One of the most frequent beliefs I hear is, if I just drink less water all day, I won't have to get up at night. It sounds perfectly logical, but inside your body, the opposite often happens. Being dehydrated during the day can actually make your urine more concentrated and irritating at night and can stress your kidneys. It is not about how much you drink over 24 hours, but when you drink it. The real answer: drink generously between sunrise and 3 p.m. By doing this, you give your kidneys the support they need when they are most active, which allows them to rest when you do. Another common thought is, this is all because of my prostate. And while prostate health is certainly a factor for many men, it is rarely the whole story. Women experience nighttime waking just as often, if not more so. A sensitive bladder, a mistimed dinner, and evening tea. These are equal partners in the problem. Focusing only on the prostate can stop you from making the simple lifestyle shifts that offer the most relief. The wiser path: trust your body's signals. Only go when the urge is genuine. And finally, there is the old household wisdom that a big glass of warm water at 9 p.m. is good for you. While warmth is nice, any fluid at that hour is still a load for your nighttime bladder. If you love a calming drink, simply enjoy it earlier, around 6 or 6:30 p.m. This way, the comfort supports your system without sabotaging your sleep. These changes are not about rejecting tradition. They are about refining it, honoring its spirit, while adapting to your body's evolving needs. I am thinking now of another woman I was blessed to guide, named Isla, who was 70. She woke up 3 times a night, at the exact same times, and couldn't understand why. She assumed it was just her age, a battle she had lost. But she agreed to try one simple thing. She drank the vast majority of her water in the morning and early afternoon, and stopped all fluids after 6:30 p.m. In just 1 week, she slept for 7 hours without waking. After our morning meditation, she turned to me and said, "I had forgotten my body could feel this good, and so I offer this wisdom to you. Your body has not abandoned you. It is not defeated. It is waiting. It is waiting for rhythm, for consistency, for your kindness." True healing doesn't always come from more effort. It comes from more awareness, not in what you drink, but in when. Not in grand gestures, but in small, loving, repeated actions. So tonight, before you sleep, place a hand on your belly and gently ask, is what I'm doing right now supporting my body's rest, or am I getting in its way? Then just listen. The answer, you may find, has been there all along, as quiet as the night, just waiting for you to hear it. Your body has not forgotten. It remembers the path to rest, to healing, to balance. All it needs is a small, kind gesture from you, offered with patience and love. A shift in when you drink, a softening of your evening routine, a choice to listen instead of to force. If a single thing you heard today sparked a moment of truth within you, a memory, a question, a quiet feeling of "Ice, that's me," then that is all that's needed. That is where healing starts. And know that you are not on this path by yourself. Somewhere right now, another person is sitting with these same questions and may find great comfort in knowing that you are walking it too. This is the power of our shared humanity. We don't need grand announcements. A single word of understanding, spoken from a place of care, can travel through the silence and bring warmth. If you know someone who struggles in the night, who wears their tiredness like a heavy coat, offer them a gentle word. Share what you have learned today. You might be giving them more than a tip. You might be giving them the gift of rest. And until we meet again, I wish you a night as quiet as the space between two thoughts, and a morning as gentle as the first light on water. Walk in peace, rest in stillness, and remember that you are not alone.